Pat. It's Pat on brands. Watch how you branded, man. A pat on the back is a pat from the man. Better be branded, man. Pat from the pat is a pat on the brand. If it's enormous, flawless, gorgeous, don't be cautious, cordless.
Hello, everybody. We are back like we never left. This is the Pat on Brands podcast with Pat and
Mpumi.
Yeah.
Season 4, I think.
Stranger danger.
Welcome back to the Pat on Brands podcast with myself, Unompumelelo, and Pat.
A lot has changed since the last time we did this, people.
Yeah, I actually don't know where we were at, but it was but I think this is season 4. We're back. This is season 4. We're back.
But what
again.
I must mention is that, a lot of people have been asking for the podcast and be saying, guys, we miss you. When are you coming back? I was learning so much from the platform. Actually, there's an email that I once received from a young lady, Let me see if I can find it, and I don't make these things up, right?
So whilst he's finding it, we are back once again with, I think it is really season 4, episode 1, episode 100, episode something. I think before we actually stopped, we were hoping to get to episode 100, but that didn't work out as planned. But today is also just about a recap because we stopped, I think, just before, not even just before, quite earlier on in the year. But there was just quite a lot of busyness and a recap of what this podcast is, whether you're a new person listening to us, whether you're an old fan, old flame, who's like, I
found the mail.
Okay.
I found the mail from Ntando Yenkosi Nabadala.
Okay.
Yo, what a name, eh? Like a whole sentence.
A rich name. Yeah.
It's wealthy. It's not even rich. Wow. It's a wealthy name. And she said, I just wanted to commend you on the Pat on Brands podcast. It has shaped my perspective on marketing, PR/advertising industry so much. Hope to hear new episodes soon.
Well, Ntando Yenkosi Abadala Nabancane. We're back. We're back once again.
We're back.
And yeah, Pat, how have you been, man?
You've been hectic. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, when last did you record an episode?
I'm trying to remember what was the last.
Was it before the YOBAs?
I think we had Masala.
That was before the YOBAs.
I remember, I think it was March-ish.
Yeah.
April-ish.
May-ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, we made history at the Sandton Convention Center. We had the largest number of youth-owned brands under one roof at the Sandton Convention Center. We hosted the first festival of youth-owned brands.
Yeah.
I
have a headache even now. That's how stressful that project was.
That project was so stressful, but obviously it's rewarding work. And it was well received by many, especially young people. I love it when young people say, Pat, look, the work that you do, keep doing it. Because for the first time, someone is seeing us.
Yeah.
That for me means a lot. And of course, that has happened. And since then, I had made it to the top 200 young South Africans.
Okay.
Mail and Guardian.
Yeah. Okay.
Since then, I have become the brand ambassador of Play Your Part by Brand SA.
Oh, wow.
Since then, my daughter has turned 1. Then, I'm a finalist for the Emerging Marketer of the Year.
Okay. Well, since then, I just be me, y'all.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, but congratulations.
But I do know that there's a big change, Louis.
Behave yourself.
Okay.
But congratulations on all these achievements. Whether they are from qualitative, but really recognizing and giving you your flowers, in your time.
But also since then, I must say I've been broke.
I mean, I've been getting you shocked. But but I think it's been a journey and your reflection. Did you think this year was going to be the way it is?
Not entirely.
Okay.
Not entirely. And yeah, man, there's a lot of things that do happen, and sometimes they catch you by surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I knew that the YOBAs were going to be big this year. I knew that this year we're going to have the festival, even though before we even embarked on executing the idea, a lot of people were like, hey, Fukutsanyana,
Yeah.
why don't you, perfect and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, even though things turned out the way they did, from a financial perspective, because we did lose some serious money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't regret having done it.
Okay.
Because there was only one way to find out if it was going to work or not.
So
and then I was doing it.
We are crowdfunding, no. No, but I think it was very interesting. I had the...
we were talking about achievements, and sometimes we just need to also share with our viewers and listeners that things are not always
rosy.
as rosy as they seem. We go through challenges. We do lose money.
Yeah.
And when we make money, we don't talk about it.
Of course. But now we are talking. No worries. But no, that's absolutely amazing. I had the opportunity to work on the YOBAs this year. I don't know if it was an opportunity or it was a character building moment. But I think the cause, which I've always voiced out to Pat, is that for me, it's the cross that I carry to the hill, because I think we've never had where people are celebrating youth, and I think the complexities of it, because then the conversation,
even also the standard,
yeah,
because sometimes, I mean, we've been to some events or occasions or whatever where they say they're putting the youth on the spotlight, but sometimes
it's not about them.
Yeah,
it's almost it's you in the, or it's almost like a play area for big people with the little space for the kids.
Absolutely,
type,
And I mean, you are at that event that we won't mention.
Yeah.
Where we were just saying, oh, we're going to give the youth a platform. And they only gave us 5 minutes on stage.
And it was a youth event. But that's besides the point. That is besides the point.
Yeah.
But I think it was very beautiful to see a celebration of youth-owned brands. I think my passion is really about sustainability also with those brands, because it's good and all. And I think because I've been one to start a business, then you're like, it's not working out, you scrap it and so forth. And we've also at the dialogue learned from Sbu, from African Bank, where you have an ego, but he called it an ego psyche, in a way that you almost see that Pat has a business, you do it. When the going gets tough, it hits you, it knocks you, you give up, you start a new business. And I suppose that's the syndrome that you have of just having this, army of brands or businesses that you've started. Actually, let me not say brands, but businesses that you kind of start with, a side hustles or not. So it's been a learning. It's been a learning.
I call it the most expensive school fees.
Yeah, like
I've
no MBA
paid.
will qualify you here.
No.
Yeah.
I can even, with the amount of money I lost, I can even do 2 MBAs.
Yeah. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge. Wow. Okay. Share my skis, But anyway, I've had my fair share.
Yeah.
What have I been doing?
I know you've been on and off the plane.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. I mean, for those, I think before we had left, I had shared my pain points. I think now I've healed. But I'd left corporate, then went into freelance marketing.
Yeah.
So went back into being in agency, but indirectly, right? For those that
and it's only a matter of time until she comes back to the
all
rather
that
agency.
don't know, I just thought agency is just very abusive, and I was just like, no, it's okay. So the beauty about now, and also I think
agency is not for the weak.
Yeah, it's okay. Me, I'll take it. I'm weak. Good rough labayana, guys. But the beauty about it is because now I'm almost so I'm consulting in a way, but still then I carry the brand of whatever business that I'm carry. So if I'm Lerato's agency's consultant, I am Lerato's agency when I come to you. So that has been beautiful. That has been interesting. Different agencies, different cultures, different ways of working, and growing. I suppose I used to dislike client services. I remember when we started at Pat, I didn't know what client services was, and I didn't really want to be in client services, but there's acumen.
But you did it like a pro.
Yeah, there was acumen in terms of dealing with people, because I think I can do that.
Yeah.
So that just fell into it, but I think it got really hectic. Now I'm like, give me those clients, and now I can deal with, client services, because it's also a science to it, So having to learn strategies of client service management, how to deliver certain things. There's maturity definitely in the, almost 2 years that I had left agency and come back. So very interesting. I don't know if I can say love. Let's not use inappropriate words. Okay. But it's been quite interesting, working with different clients at different spaces and so forth. It fluctuates. The difficulty about it, especially from a freelance perspective, does come with the fact that, it sometimes there's high tides, low tides, time is constrained, you could be bowling 1 minute, no, you're not bowling the next minute. So that's how it's been so far. So that has been the one side of the business.
Yeah. And Lenala?
Lenalian. Yo, guys, Lenala has had so many versions of its name. There was 2 senior Caucasian gentlemen who've come through. So they come, oh, darling, this is so beautiful. So I'm like, it's so beautiful, the store.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, thank you. What is it? Nalanian. This is such a beautiful name. So I was like, we're going to rock with it. So for those that don't know, Lenala, which Kasetswana is a nail. Yeah, I think Lenala is 2 years and a couple of months in. It's now going for its 3rd year stretch. So its 3rd year sprint basically was we were going to feel the tide of the business. So we've gone through having a full staff complement to having 2. We've shared some of these in our previous podcasts. If you haven't listened, go listen to some of them or previous ones when we started. We've gone through breaking even to having to go shake nyash, perhaps, just to make money. I'm joking, guys. This is PG. No, not shaking nyash, but really having to, and hence why, having to find other ways of making business, because we had to still make sure we're paying rent, paying the team. If there's anything, it's to make sure money sensitive. So when the team is there, they know that whether there's some people coming in or not, the expectation is making sure that they have money. So, making ends meet there. Then you sometimes question, why though are we suffering like this? Why don't we just go work 9 to 5 or 9 to 7?
And put our degrees to good use.
You know what I mean? Mind you, I have an accounting and I've never stepped into an accounting building. Perhaps it was only because when I was doing auditing and I was doing VAC work and I sat there, after a week. We are done. What were we doing? So maybe that's why I need to stay where I'm at the moment. So so that was that. And it has been quite interesting in that regard. I think also it's another thing that Sbu said was being, I think, and I told you, I said one thing I took out of that whole dialogue is, as a leader, you need to be comfortable with disappointment. And I think it changed my perspective. It was such a simple sentence that really has made my life.
Well, I guess you know why it made impact? Or it
resonated.
It resonated because it hit you at the right time.
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose. It was very simple. And I think it was because I was like, no, actually, I'm really tired about the staff compliment. But I think it also then created the excitement to find solutions to the problems, right? Where then we started looking at, a gamified commission structure, where even though we have issues with staffing, so we're creating a space where you're almost building your own business within the business.
Yeah.
So almost like if you're an Avon, right?
Gotcha.
It's a direct selling mechanism. So we've started working on some concepts in that regard where it's gamified for the beautician, because also now we've increased services. We're looking at additional place and really making it very versatile, given that it's quite an agile market and not ungoverned, unregulated space. So we then thought, okay, these are the issues that we have. So we need to think on how do we actually work with them? Because this time it's not working against them, because I think we've been going against the gradient. So that has been fun. It has been exciting. It's been working. We've gotten a new cohort of people. We have learnerships going. We have the school side also developing. and driving our brand positioning statement of being the beauty voice of Africa. So
Sure.
yeah, it's been a lot.
So I'm pretty sure there'll be a Lenala podcast soon.
There actually is supposed to be. It's called Lenala Talks. So
Lenala Talks.
So we should
imagine a nail that talks.
Hey, boo, I saw it.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess at some point we just need to have one special episode that will speak on the people's side because kuningi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then, since the last time we spoke again, South Africa has now become a center of sports team excellence. I actually saw a meme. It read like this. I'll tell you now before we get into the topic. Where is it? Come on now with it.
Well, as Pat looks at the meme, I thought to also share for those who are new, listening to us for the first time, or watching us for the first time, bumped into us somewhere, and then catches us up at season 4. Just to give you a bit of the objective of what Pat on Brands podcast is about. So Pat on Brands is a media platform which covers brand and marketing and advertising news. So if you want to know what's happening where, which brand has produced where, how, what, their social media and also the website is where you can get the news of branding and marketing.
Sure.
This is then an extension in an audio format where we discuss whether it is with CMOs, whether it is with entrepreneurs, but hopefully the different segments that we've actually developed prior to here actually come to pass where we'll be talking to business in different spaces, whether it is business in boxing, business in music, business in different spaces. So we then merged what we look at as entrepreneurship and also look at what marketing in its full discipline. So not just limited to marketing, but PR within that, advertising, performance marketing versus paid marketing versus, so different types of marketing. So it's an educational platform. So there's different topics where we answer the burning question, which is ultimately what we are pegged on, is we answer a burning question, whether you're an entrepreneur, because we've also known that entrepreneurship is like, you're this one person sitting there, but and you question certain things. Do people have issues like I? And trust me, we all have issues, whether it is from an infant business right up until big business. So in different spaces or life cycles of your business, we also then touch on that, whether it is from now you need funding from a scaling and expansion, we touch those topics. Whether you're at the beginning and saying, I just need inspo to move into creating a business, that's where we also jump in. So that's what the podcast is about. It's an educational platform, an exciting, a fun platform with different guests who come and actually really take over. And these, sessions that we do have are called our candid conversations, where we come and share our candid conversations around our business, our stresses, our fun,
experiences,
our highs, our lows, our experiences, and really want you guys to engage and tell us more about where you're at in your business, what's stressing you, and we're able to develop then the burning questions from that.
Absolutely. And so I found the meme, and the meme, oh my goodness, and the meme says, now we must learn cricket. It's not easy living in a country of overachievers.
The beauty of where we're at.
Of course. And
but imagine if we had lost. What a somber moment, guys.
The Friday, let me tell you something about, when they say sports unites people.
Yeah.
So on Friday, this past Friday, rocking my Boca t-shirt, I'm driving in traffic. There's a guy in a motorbike, white guy comes in. Looks at me.
He winks. Yeah.
Never in my, even now, I feel like literally goosebumps.
Yeah.
We are in this together. And I was like, damn, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, obviously, since Mandela, anything like this has happened, whereby the country is
together.
Is together. And I guess also because there's so much of things that are going really wrong.
Guys, season 4, those same issues we talked about, they are still there.
And there's more now.
Electricity. It's just a lot, that's happening. But like we've said, we're going to focus on how do we make our tomorrow better today. That's what
Absolutely.
we're about.
Yeah, then I was really touched. And of course, I mean, Springboks won.
Yeah.
Springboks won. I was watching the game. You know, it was a nail-biting game, as the analysts would put it. And sure,
I won't lie, I was sleeping, guys.
you lied. Did you watch the game?
I then was woken up 10 minutes before because my sister needed something. That's the only time I went to go and watch it where the people were at. But that at least delay Lenoko.
Yeah.
We can be happy now.
So you're fresh to celebrate.
Yeah, so I was in the
Yeah.
celebration part.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't be the pattern brands if we also didn't talk about brands that really stood out. And I think
Obviously with the box.
Yeah, with the Boca.
Yeah.
I mean, Boca is the brand on its own. I think
Yeah.
probably one of the top sponsored brands in South Africa without loosely putting it out there. But they had quite a lot of brands, backing
Jumping.
them up.
But also, can we take a step back before
Sure.
we talk about the brands? And I think it's also important that we touch on the importance of the private sector or the brands, as we would call it, on this platform.
Absolutely.
In terms of one, driving the excitement around the rugby, getting people to rally up behind the Bokers. And of course, what we saw at the finals, it was just a culmination of all the activities that were happening, all the amount of money that was put in behind the box, the investments that were made. And it's surprisingly or unsurprisingly, so that the Gav, the Khodobas, do nothing.
Yeah.
They just come when it's the moment of glory.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, I also saw it with Black Coffee. When he went to fill up Madison Square Garden. It was Castle Light, a brand like Castle Light that said, we see you, we rally behind you, let's have a send-off party, let's put our monies, behind you, But the Gav, the Khodobas, they're just chilling. Like it's, all you get is a congratulatory message. Hey, you are inspiring.
No, but you are.
Inspiring. No, they must say, as part of Black Coffee, you going there, we are going to fund 10 students or something to go with you and experience this thing so that one day they take over the reins from you.
You're speaking to the converted. So I hope one day it lands on, ears that actually hear the plight.
And also, here's the thing. And once they make it, then now they want to put money on them.
Yeah.
And to be ambassadors of whatever campaigns they're doing, and they splurge on them.
Money then.
But it's so disappointing. But shout out to corporate South Africa.
Yeah.
Because without corporate SA, to be honest.
Yeah. So shout out to and I think it's also almost a powerful realization of the power of brands, right? So
Absolutely.
The corporate South Africa are actual brands that have been developed or built. There's a brand story, be it Discovery, be it Checkers, be it MTN,
MultiChoice,
all the brands, they are actual brands and there's brand stories, right?
Yeah.
And I think one day we'll actually delve into, because we usually use brand interchangeably, and it's almost like if you've done a CIPC name, it's a brand. Not quite.
Not quite.
We'll have a masterclass on that.
Of course.
But definitely then it's quite powerful how these brands have backed this other brand. So it was almost like, all these brands coming together, doing a hut.
Yeah.
And then, for the Boca, for them to come back and actually
it was incredible.
Win the cup. But the pressure that sat on those papas, I don't wish to be them. I don't wish to be them. Siyakolis is running now and I feel sorry for him.
But also at the same time, I was like, how many players? Is it 15 on the field?
I got no clue.
Carrying an entire mood of 62 million people.
Yeah, absolutely.
An entire nation.
Yeah.
Mood.
Yeah.
Was on. I also feel the pressure.
We even forgot our problems by then. Even government was like, no, it's fine. Let's all forget them. Us too, we'll forget them.
We'll also forget.
Let's focus.
We'll also give them a holiday.
But we knew this holiday. Ngoma 16 was started. Bye. collabo. But anyway,
Yeah.
I think then for me, I think a brand that stood out was definitely Checkers. And I'm very biased to Checkers. I am biased through and through since my project in second year, many moons ago. And I
Wow.
fell in love with them in terms of how Mr. Basong was quite focused and has, I haven't bought his book, but I read just a snippet in terms of the intention.
I need to get it.
The intention of how it has surpassed Pick and Pay from what it was and what it is today. So,
Yeah.
and the Magna Carta, I think that was developed by forgot the speaker, but he
Vusi.
then, yes,
Vusi.
Vusi Maguire, where he then does highlight in terms of these, big retailers and the difference.
And speaking of Pick and Pay,
yeah,
they brought back a blast from the past.
what did they bring back?
Sean Sanders, 70-year-old, to become
The CEO.
Yeah.
Hectic. So, I was saying that in terms of, I can't remember if I was reading something or I had watched something, but they were saying, Bason was saying basically how he had penetrated into Soweto, and the ShopRite in Soweto and so forth, and how everybody was against that. I think at the time there was quite a lot of turmoil. Yeah, there's a lot of turmoil. That means you're bringing investment into Soweto where there's uprising and issues and so forth. And he said, "Sharp, why your kakon?"
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Checkers. And now,
I think someone once said, sorry to interject there.
Yeah.
When people say it's a bad idea, actually that's when you should do it. Because right now,
make sure, guys, you have reviewed everything, and there is a responsible action taking there.
No, but remember, if you look at a guy like, a man like, sorry, my phone was ringing. Apologies. YT Person, what he did, going against the grain. It was unpopular to go into townships. And he was one of the first people to sort of obviously pioneer from a corporate perspective and really make it big. Now, everybody wants
a piece of the pie.
A piece of the pie.
Well, I think it goes back to, and if you listen to our first episode, we've defined what an entrepreneurship characteristic has or comes with. And we can't argue the fact that you need to have a liver from a risk perspective, because it could go east or west, right? It could be, and it means that if you win big. If you lose big. So
Sometimes.
Either way. No, but I'm saying
you don't have to be like Pat.
No, but I'm saying is you win big. Like if you make a decision and probably the risk is quite high, it just means that the return is high. So is then the loss of it.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm saying you need to have a liver as an entrepreneur to say, okay, cool. So, I mean, YT Person, whilst it wasn't his own business, as in building his own brand, but he's an entrepreneur in how he thinks, for the fact that he's taking risks that generally I'd like to believe from a management perspective, at that point you kind of are looking at, if it falls flat, it affects quite a lot of, there's a ripple effect,
there
you know?
And you know what, an interesting part, another lesson I've learned, obviously, I think I should have watched the video before. Then maybe I would have made a different decision. or saw him. Because when I attended the Black Coffee send-off, the media briefing, he said something very profound. Because he said, before filling up Madison Square Gardens, or even the idea has always been there, but pursuing it.
Actively.
Yeah. He said there's a venue, I forgot the name, I think in Brooklyn somewhere, which is like popular. So that was their first target, to fill it up. Right?
Yeah.
And they said to themselves, they set a goal. They said, if you fill this thing up 3 times, then you are ready to go to the square.
Yeah.
And
it was almost like running, the qualifiers before the comrades.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He did it 3 times, and the last one, the price was at what they would charge.
If you're at Madison.
Yeah. And they still sold out. And that's when they felt they were ready to do it. But what does Pat do?
That does not do that. I can already tell you now. Let's fill up 3 times. No, medicine it is.
Medicine.
Medicine it is. But so you're quite right. And I think there's different, and it comes maybe from an appetite perspective. I know I'm a very prudent business person.
Yeah.
I weigh all risks. And then I'm like, whew, I don't know. I still like comfy living.
Yeesh.
So I don't know.
Still wanna eat croissants,
I want to have a croissant, you know.
Mm.
Will I take the blow even if nothing happens? So that's how I personally look at things. And then that's what I'm saying. People are different.
Yeah.
For me, it's if the project goes south, do I have capacity to, you know, take it in, absorb it, and still not affect my livelihood or any other people who are part of the project? Then if that's a yes, then I'm like, okay, it's okay, we can take the risk. That's personally me. But that means
I'm opposite.
but then I don't have capacity to take on big risks because of that, because maybe I can't take the blow of a bigger risk. So it all just depends.
Me, I just operate on faith.
No, you do. You do. You absolutely do.
You know, I just go for it. I'm like, you know,
That's your
God will provide. God will provide. But yeah,
so going back to the Booker, we had mentioned Checkers, which is one of the top brands that really did well. They even were in Paris.
They were in Paris.
Guys,
that Checkers 60 scooter was in Paris.
They are really coming in and coming hard. I'd love to really read their report and their earnings.
I'd like to see their budget.
Yeah. No, but even like their return on investment, because they really are the type where, you know, this is what we want, we're going to back it themselves, you know. They had billboards in Paris. And I think their slogan was around you run, I forgot, something along the lines of you run, we'll look after, basically, I'll find it.
Yeah.
But basically they also had boerewors in Paris serving. There was chefs there. But the billboards said, you deliver the victory, we'll deliver the rest. And they had their Checker 60.
There.
And if you recall, there was the scooter guy who was driving around there by the, what is it called? The monument, what is it called? The Eiffel Tower. And yeah, they also then had, you know, boerewors that they were handing out and giving to people to really feel the spirit of South Africa before the island match. Mind you, it was when they wore the new Springbok jerseys, which caused the uproar. But Checkers was like, okay, it's our time to shine, broers. Got you. I really love, I think they work overtime there. And that is what marketing is about. It's about agility.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they were tipped before about the jersey story. But if not, I must be honest, their turnaround of how they actually implemented all of that was quite impressive.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw even, you know, I felt goosebumps watching that video of the motorbike, you know, in Sentin and saying, bring it home.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just amazing to watch.
Absolutely.
But also that's what great marketing is about. And I think for anyone who's in marketing or has an interest in marketing, watching this, you need to be on the pulse. And I think this is one industry, unfortunately, you can't completely switch off.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because a great idea can come from anywhere. You could be at a spa, seeing something and be like, oh, that can work.
Absolutely.
You could be watching a game, you know. So you need to be always sort of switched on and just be on the pulse.
Yeah. I think for me, that is what I maybe don't like about the industry is that you don't have downtime, because downtime could cost you in a way. So you just kind of have to find the balance. And also because your mind is just consistently like thinking, oh, okay, cool. What can we do? How do we, oh, that's so punny, ha ha ha, you know, type of thing.
Yeah.
So,
but also sometimes, remember, because we're in the business of ideas, of selling ideas, you know, your ideas are as rich as your experiences.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if you've got a limited exposure to things in life, then
your ideas will also be limited.
You'll be that person during a brainstorm session where you unpack a brief, you have nothing to contribute. Or you're going to come up with, oh, let's do a billboard. We'll do a billboard, you know? But how does the billboard look like? You know, let's post on social media. We are going to post on social media. But how does that look like? Because now we've moved away from just posting on social media. Social media is an entire animal on its own that requires deep insights and understanding on how you make it work. It's no
Yeah.
longer just posting,
Yeah.
and say, oh, si postile.
Yeah.
Now it's about the science. What do you say? What kind of format? And
Yeah. So that's true. That's definitely true. That's why research is very, very
yeah.
important.
But what do you think of the main sponsor on the chest of the Springbok jersey?
Being Nike.
MTN.
Oh, MTN. Oh, asibona. Fuck imali uzobona, I suppose. I must be honest. I don't remember because I think I saw some of the billboards where they did. Yeah, they did. You know what? I also then and why I found Checkers for me to stand out. I think there was deliberate.
Were they sponsors even?
I don't even think they were, but I think there was a deliberate marketing activity. It wasn't we've sponsored the Boca, so our package comes with either here or here. I forgot the names that we use for different placements or the shoes.
Just gonna plug a logo.
Yeah, and then we just plug a logo and then it's a billboard. Yeah. We support you. Boca, goodbye. You know, it wasn't because I think what I found that there was just so many sponsors that everything just became very diluted. So I didn't know, you couldn't see who's who here. Yeah. You know, everybody was just there.
And you remember Escort?
No.
With the Springboks?
No. Tell me more.
Springboks, they even trended. And they were accused of spelling Springboks wrong, but it was deliberate. It was a big, proper PR and social media campaign. Actually, got a Springboks.
Is it?
Got it delivered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so what they did was they had an out of home and they spelled Springboks, not Springboks.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, so people are up in arms saying, oh, how
could you spell it wrong? Yeah.
What, but it was all deliberate and they're promoting their Springboks with different stuff.
Oh, wow, for prize and stuff.
Oh, okay. And all of this. So
I missed that.
Part of the box came like an apron.
Yeah.
And all of that, you know?
Yeah. No, I think for me then that now we're talking to...
So, and for them, they hijacked the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because they were not any of the sponsors.
Yeah.
It was quite clever.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to say with the big ones, really. I don't know if I missed anything, but I didn't see...
I mean, even Nike, obviously.
No, but I mean, it's Nike, my man. That tick says it all.
Yeah, but we saw some out-of-home stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it.
Yeah. I think that then covers our recap of brands. That I think that one takes the cup in terms of our recap of brands. Yeah. Lastly, in terms of brand news for November, and I probably will touch in our next candid conversation, is we are in the month of November.
Of course.
So tomorrow, or rather Saturday, is World Children's Day. That's what we have in terms of activity.
Yeah.
I don't know who's doing what for World Children's Day. I remember in primary school when I celebrated it. Ever since, I've never known if I'm a child or not because it was only that year. So angaz. And then we also have Movember. So for those brands that are male orientated, male health, I think this is your time to shine this month.
Absolutely. Do something
Movember-ish.
And Black Friday is also coming up.
Yeah, Black Friday is coming on the 20.
No, I was sitting to my friend. You know, every year without fail, around this time of the year, I'm broke.
So you are never prepared to buy?
I never buy anything on
Black Friday.
On Black Friday. And my friend, but also the Black Friday of today is no longer the same, eh?
Yeah. I think also because it's long.
Of course.
And you're not sure really because these prices look like they were similar. Exactly. So, it's not particularly sure. So I'm doing a bit of research for articles that I need to produce for Black Friday. So it's quite interesting to see what people actually spend on the basket size of people for Black Friday.
Yeah, so we'll do a quick recap.
Yeah.
Of that, hopefully.
The quick research has said that though people are focusing on essentials. So I think with a bit more of a deep dive in terms of reading how Black Friday history and going forward looks like, it'll be quite interesting to bring some of those results.
Yeah. So we look forward to seeing also maybe there'll be some interesting campaigns.
Yeah.
Some brands will be doing some out of the world kind of work that'll get us laughing or going, maybe.
But we have said that we're a bit lazy in terms of marketing. Or also maybe it becomes towards the end of the year. It says Katele, but you know, Black
Ideas
Friday,
are no longer
we
flowing.
just slept bang 15% off Tengan and move. So we don't know. So hopefully fun things come out from that. So do make sure to listen to us. Do make sure to share with friends. Do make sure to say, hey, welcome back, guys. I don't know Venda. I wanted to speak Venda. But I almost said... Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm a vendor.
Oh, wow.
One day, vamos.
And I am Mexican. I don't know what I wanted to say, but... But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to our first...
But I must call Tamam to order. When the conversations are flowing...
He tells us to cut.
Exactly.
Our producer
says we
must cut.
No.
You know, it's his problem, not our problem. But anyway, guys, from myself, Unompumelelo.
From me, Pet Mahlangu and Mpumi.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a beautiful one from wherever you're listening to us and whenever you're listening to us. Have a good day, evening, or morning. Goodbye.
Yay.
Pat. It's Pat on Brands. Watch how you branded, man. A pat on the back is a pat from the man. Better be branded, man. A pat from the pat is a pat on the brand. If it's enormous, flawless, gorgeous, don't be cautious, cordless.